totally lost. Just talk, right? Not to hit any buttons, I'm okay.
The deal, how would you assess what happened on Friday?
Well, I thought it was really a great event, really competitive. If you look at the meet scores, and our guys got away with 2 dual meet wins, and ladies got a good win over Idaho State in a very close meet with the University of Montana, as I predicted it would be, and certainly ran into a really great University of Montana women's team there, and a strong men's team as well.
Do you like the events where you're only competing against 2 other schools?
Well, I love that scoring format. The 2-3 team meet, I think, is a really a great format. It's something that can get done in a reasonable amount of time that is spectator friendly. It's pretty easy to follow the competition. We were getting dual meet scores probably almost after every event there on Friday night.
How are you guys doing as far as qualifiers go, as far as how you'd expect this to
Yeah,
be?
you know, we've got 9 women with automatics and 17 others inside the top 16. Now on the men's side, we have 8 automatics with 13 others inside the top 16 right now.
How does that compare? I mean, is that where you thought you'd be at this point?
We know typically we have more autos by now than we have, and that's a little bit of a concern, but I'm still really positive with so many kids inside the first 16, and some of them not just inside the first 16, but are highly ranked without an automatic. They're inside the top 8, which is scoring. They don't have an automatic yet. So that means that we're on pace with everybody else in the Big Sky that's trying to get kids into the meet.
Do you think that's because of how many kids you're redshirting on both sides and how they would typically do?
Boy, you know, the jumpers, if you look at it, they're close, and Mushaven and Mall, I mean, it goes on and on. There's a large number on the men's side particularly that would be qualifiers, maybe not so many on the women's side that are missing it. Obviously, we're missing Heather Demarest, and that would be a huge impact on our women's side. Not having her in there, certainly that would make a difference.
How do you think your athletes are going to compete for the first time on the road this season?
This is always a great test. How do we do when we get away from the friendly confines of Brick Breeden Fieldhouse? The one really neat thing is we're going to a facility in Gillette that I haven't seen, but I have heard nothing but great stuff about this facility in Gillette. In fact, there's a $53 million complex there that's a fitness center, a community center, and it has a 6-lane Mondo surfaced flat track, albeit flat track, but they're getting some great performances on it, especially when the NCAA makes the adjustment for the flat track. Our kids are probably going to come out of there with some really great marks.
One of the events that you have dominated, especially on Friday, was the weight throw. You know, Zach Sharps are doing some great things. What have they just been doing so well?
Well, one, you have a 31-year coach experience here at Montana State. The guy has been coaching the throws for so long. He really is an expert. And it's a combination of kids that really are willing to be coached. They're willing to do what he's asking them to do, and that's why you see that success. But boy, are they going to see something this week. Wyoming's got a couple of kids who are in the top 10 nationally. They're in the upper, one guy's at 66 feet, the other guy's at 64. They're out in a whole nother zone. So it's going to be really an eye-opener. Mike Kerrigan knows about it. Our kids know about it. These kids get on the internet. They know who's done what, but it's still going to be a lot of fun.
What else might be something to watch over there? What are some other?
Boy, you know, Jacob Kirk, you guys, that mile winds up being a 4:02. That has him 10th in the nation. This may be the next guy. MSU's only had one guy ever go under 4, and that was Patrick Casey, and this could be the next guy. You know, we'd like to think he's at 4:02 with the third meet. There's a pretty good chance by the end that he could get under 4. So he's the real deal there. And Mike Acey, the young man that chased him to the finish line, that was 4:07 with the adjustment. It's really neat to see the local kid step up and, you know, and get after it like that. I thought Acey got into the race 2 races now in a row that Mike Lacey's actually really got in the races. His career before, up to this point, was he just kind of out there going through the motions, but I sense that he's really trying to compete the last 2 competitions, so that's pretty exciting as well.
When you have that, such a carrot out in front of you, like a 4-minute mile, did you worry about him peaking too early?
Well, that's a concern. While Coach Weiss and I are both concerned that maybe he's pushing the envelope a little too hard, you could see him that he was at the end of his rope with about 10 meters out. He was just stumbling on in there, so he is going all the way to the end. I mean, this guy has got a complete all-out effort, and maybe he can get there. I'd like to think that we have some training stuff that we're going to do left that he hasn't hit the top end of it yet.
Do you encourage him to maybe not chase it right away?
Well, it's so hard, and Kirk is such a competitor. I mean, he only understands this whole concept of being the very best that you can be on any time that you go out there and the gun goes off. He's just trying to be his best. He'd be a guy that John Wooden would love. You know, that it doesn't matter what the score is. Can you just look yourself in the mirror and say you did everything that you could do? And boy, Kirk really is a real great example of that. The other kid that might be a little unsung on our women's side, I don't know how many points, but Chantel Jager is unbelievable where the scoring thing is going on. She's winning the 55s, the 2s, the 4s. She's behind Antar this last time, and that's 2 times in a row she's done that. She's been key cog in our 4x4. Our women's 4x4 team is the Big Sky leaders. They're going to get challenged. Wyoming's run just a little better than they have, a couple of tenths of a second, so this could be a really interesting mile relay, not to mention the team competition over there is going to be, they got us on both sides on paper. They'll beat our men by 8 points on paper, and they'll beat our women by 3. So those really are close enough that that could go either way.